Hi, and I'm so excited for you to join me today. I'm also excited that this pattern is part of the Furls make along, and this is the knit version. I am also a crocheter. I'm passionate about crocheting, but I'm also very passionate about knitting. So I'm so excited to do this little bit of a mimic. And if you're a first-time knitter, I don't want you to be afraid of this project. I'm going to take you through a swatch that will walk you through line by line, and then it's just a pattern repeat. So it's a lot of fun. It's really relaxing. It's done in rows. There's nothing really tricky about it. So let's get started by talking about the supplies. So for this pattern, it is important to choose 5 colors. My main color will be this white for a lot of the dividing of the colors, and then I'm going to rotate between these other colors. Now here's the cool thing about Wander by Furls Crochet is that you can choose a lot of different palettes. So they have some palettes that are already curated for you on their website. You can go over there, click on the link in the pattern or on my blog, and it will take you to see a lot of the different color combinations. I love how they've created these palettes, so it's nice and fun to figure out what color combination works best for you. This is the color combination I chose for the knit version. You will also need some knitting needles, which are also supplied on the Furls website. These ones are size 5mm. They're a lot of fun. They're gorgeous. And it's fun to use these on this project. And then you'll also need a tapestry needle, some scissors, of course, because we've got to cut that yarn, and then a tassel maker. If you don't want to do tassels, that's fine. If you want to do fringe, that's great. But if you do want to make tassels, I highly recommend this Clover tassel maker. And I also have instructions for that on my YouTube channel and on my blog. So now that we have our supplies, let's get started. I'm going to start by making that swatch. So to get started, we will start with our color A, and I like to do a long tail cast on. And for this tutorial, I'm going to be casting on 20 stitches plus 1. So multiples of 10 plus 1. If you would like a slower version of the long tail cast on with a little bit more detail, I have a tutorial for the long tail cast on my blog and linked in this pattern. All right, now that we have casted on 21 stitches for this swatch, I'm going to be doing rows 1 through 3. Now these first 3 rows are very simple. They are simply knitting each row. Now for row 4, which the even rows are our wrong side rows, we are going to purl 1. And now we're going to purl 2 together, yarn over, and then repeat those last 2 steps. So purl 2 together, yarn over. We're going to repeat the purl 2 together, yarn over until the last 2 stitches of this row, and now we're simply going to purl the last 2, and that's the end of row 4. Now we're going to turn, and for row 5 and 6, we are simply going to knit. Now for row 7, it's time to change colors. So I'm going to bring in one of my other colors. So I'm going from color A, and in the pattern it will go to color B, or whatever color you have. This is the color of choice. For this swatch, I'm going to be switching to this nice copper tone color. And for row 7, we're going to start doing some of this lace work. For the very first stitch, while switching colors, we are going to knit 1. Then yarn over, knit 3, and now we're going to do our first slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over. It sounds intimidating. It's really not too bad. So we're going to slip 1 stitch knitwise, then knit the next 2 stitches together. And now we're going to take our slip stitch, which on this row it's really easy to see since it's the different color, And we're going to pass that over our knit 2 together and off. And that completes that stitch. And now we're going to knit 3. Yarn over and knit 1. And now we're going to repeat that section of yarn over, knit 3, do a slip 1, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over, knit 3, yarn over and knit 1. And that's the end of row 7. Now for row 8 and the even rows, so row 8, 10, 12, and 14, all of those for these repeats will be done in purl stitches. So it's simply just doing a purl on the even rows for this section. Now for row 9. For row 9, we will start with a knit 1. And if you prefer to slip the first stitch in these rows, you absolutely can. And then we're going to start a repeat. Our repeat is going to be a knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, and now we're going to do a slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, and then knit 2, yarn over, and knit 2. So let's do that repeat one more time. It's knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, then we'll do our slip 1, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over, knit 2, yarn over, and knit 2. So if you're noticing, there's not any new stitches at this point. You've learned every stitch for this pattern at this point. It's just doing different combinations of those. So row 10, of course, is a purl row. For row 11, we're going to start with a knit 1. And now we are going to do our repeat, which will be knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, and now we're doing our slip 1, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over, knit 1, yarn over, and knit 3. That's our repeat for row 11. Let's do that again. So it starts out with a knit 2, yarn over, and knit 1. Now slip 1, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over, knit 1, yarn over, and knit 3. And that's the end of row 11. And then we simply purl for row 12. And now for row 13, we do a knit 1. And now we're ready for our repeat, which is knit 3, yarn over. And now here's where we're going. This is going to be a little bit tricky because you want to hold your yarn over on this one. We're going to slip 1, knit 2 together, and then pass that slip stitch over. And then do a yarn over and knit 4. And that's our repeat. So let's do that repeat one more time. So knit 3, yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass that slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 4. And then row 14 is a purl row. Now here's the really exciting part. I know we just got through 14 rows there, but that's it. That's all you need to know in order to create this wrap. So it's simply repeating what we just did and those steps and expanding upon that to make the longer wrap. So let's talk about how to do those repeats. All right, so when we're talking repeats, we've done this. This is through row 14. So the first 6 rows are in the color A, and then we've started with our alternate color and we've done through row 14. What we will do is then repeat rows 7 through 14 2 more times, which gives us this section here. So you'll do rows 1 through 14, then repeat 7 through 14 2 more times. And then you're going to repeat that entire section again for this section, and then this section, and then the next time you do it for the next 3, you change colors. So it's a really nice relaxing repeat where you already know all these stitches so far through this small swatch. It's just expanding upon that for this beautiful wrap. So I did 3 sections of blue, 3 sections of this rust orange color, 3 sections of green, and then 3 sections of gray. And then at the very end, we will do one more repeat of rows 1 through 6 to finish off that edge. I've blocked this because blocking is absolutely necessary. I cannot stress that enough. When it comes to a piece laying correctly and the nice drape it will have, a lot of times blocking is what makes that possible. So don't skip blocking at all for this wrap to get that beautiful look, especially with knit. Knit really will bunch up, especially this lace work, until you block it. I did a wet block for mine just because I needed it to be quite aggressive to make sure that I could see this beautiful lace. So I did an aggressive wet block and I'm really happy with the results. After you've done all that, if you would like to leave it as is, you can, or I want to show you what I've did on this side, and I'm going to do this on the other side, is tassels. Tassels are a lot of fun. It's a great detail. It adds a bit of pop to the edges. Got a little strand hanging out there, but it is something that really adds to your piece. But if you're not a tassel person, you can do fringe. Fringe would be great on these edges, or you can just simply leave it plain because it is really nice and let that lace work show. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you come back again for more tutorials in the future. And remember, if you do crochet, I'm also doing a crochet version of this. I cannot wait to see what you make. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, follow me on social media, and show me your beautiful makes. Have a wonderful day.